Thank you again, everyone. So today is last day of Kartik Purnima here, and utilizing this wonderful opportunity we have, the Kartik, the Damodar entire month, the dedicated to Srimati Radharani, as this is the one of the month that we can really attract Krishna. And like every year actually we do Krishna book reading, presenting many devotees coming forward and giving Krishna Katha. That is really wonderful to hear. So many realization and actually it deepens our heart every single day to like revive our consciousness because our consciousness go back and forth, ups and downs are there. And this kind of katha actually really connect us to Krishna consciousness. And this is a beauty about it. And especially in this Damodar month, everybody coming together, like sharing the realization to each other, pushing each other with this realization and katha hari katha is amazing. And thank you everyone again for being part of this, coming to present, learning the story, working hard to present this katha, plus coming and hearing this katha. So both are getting benefited, and hopefully, today I can make some attempt to do the final touch out a very small story, small topic, but very deep in lesson. Hopefully, I can carry that mood, what is there in the katha to learn. So today we are going to speak on Diti, Vows to kill Indra. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 6, verse no, canto 6, chapter 18. So Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Churumtamena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namya Namaste, Saraswati Deve Gauravani Charini, Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshitani, Ukam Karoti Vacharam Pungulanga Tekri, Uktipatam Hindandi, Shri Gurunam. So we can see here that this particular pastimes actually starts with uh, Sukadeva Goswami explaining the demonic tree, that is the demonic tree are from Diti. So we have Kashyap Muni, actually he had married 13 wives of Daksha's daughter, and the main primary of them were Diti and Aditi, most of us know. So this is the demonic tree, family tree from Diti. And we can see that Diti and Kashyapa, actually the first children they have was Hiranyakashipu, the twins brother. That was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And we know how they appeared in this world and how, how powerful demons they were. And after the death of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha by Nrsimhadev and Varhadev, and Hiranyakashipu was married to Kayadu, and they had actually four sons and one daughter. The sons were Samlhada, Anulhada, Lhada, and Pralhada, and they had one daughter called Simhika, sorry. And Simhika was married to Viprachit, and they had a son Rahu. And we know the story of Rahu, whose head was severed and cut. So they were the son of Semika and Viprachit. And then the other son, Hiranyakashipu's other son, Samlhada, actually was married to Priti, and they had a son, Panchajanya. And Lada and was married to Dhamni, and they had a son called Vatapi and Ivla, Ilvala. And actually, Ilvala, this very nice story, actually, not much detail there. So he used to tease all the Brahmana and he used to feed his brother Vatapi as a boar and try to kill and destroy the Brahmanas. I mean, Agastya Muni actually destroy the Vatapi like that. And so they were the two sons of Halada and Dhamani. And Anuladha, the sons of Hiranyakashipu, was married to Surya, and they had two sons called mm, Vakshkala and Mahisha. So, and other son of Prahlada had, we know that his son Virochan, very famous, and who gave us birth of the son Bali Maharaj, and we know this story. And Bali Maharaj was married to Ashana, and they begot 100 sons, and with King Bana being the eldest. There's one Banasur. We know the story that where Banasur was the one of the powerful demon, great worship of Lord Shiva, and he was protecting personally the Banasur. So that's one of the son of Bali Maharaj, and we can see that. And then this particular section is about the other children of Diti and Kashyapa Muni. They were the Marutas. So the interesting story starts with there were 49 Marutas demigods. Like how come they were born of Diti, and Parikshit Maharaj is wondering they how come they transform into like you know from a demon, right, to demigod. Like how they were born into became a demigod, you know. So that question starts from the inquiry. What kind of pious activities did he perform? What happened? How there's whole Dominic mentality is there, the consciousness. How they converted into demigods. There was an inquiry that is happening, and all the sages votes that yes, we also are so much eager to know about this. How come? You know, this really happened, right? And they really thanked Parikshit Maharaj, and they request Sukadev Goswami to, please tell the story. And Sukadev Goswami actually was very always you can see that the connection between the speaker and the hearer, Parikshit Maharaj, how he's hearing is process of exchange, the question and answer, like if he's really understanding. So actually Sukadeva Goswami actually praises Maharaj Parikshit, and he was very respectful, Parikshit Maharaj all the time. He was very respectful, and you can see his desire of hearing all the time. And what that was being very much appreciated by Sukadeva Goswami, and he was very well aware about what is happening, everything it's very very pleasurable to see. And now he starts explaining what has happened. So it starts with Diti's contemplation, and what is going to happen through that contemplation. This is one of the main essence of this story, right? And after Lord Vishnu actually kills Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, right, to assist Lord Indra, because these both demons were really creating trouble, so much trouble, like the entire world. It was suffocating actually. And when they were killed, especially as being a mother, they were this only two children she had, and when they were died, and she really felt so bad. She was so overwhelmed, and she was limited. And with that lamentation, actually anger developed, and he started thinking, this Indra is the main cause, of this. What is happening? This Indra actually is so much sense gratification. He always think about his position. I'm gonna rather than this position, everything, I'm gonna kill him. Rather than that, because he's so cruel. He is so hard-hearted, and such a sinful person should not live in this world. And that's what that desire in deities develops. So that emotional response to a death of sons actually arise in her heart like that. And because of that, she started condemning, this kind of rulers, this kind of the kings are going to become worms, like stool and ashes. There's no value. They're going to suffer, like you know, and they have no understanding of what his life is. And she started thinking so much negative about Indradev. And now she takes a firm decision that I need to kill Indra. I have to teach him. I cannot take it, right. I cannot take what is the behavior of Lord Indra. So she starts to plan, you know, how to fulfill her wish, right? And that's how she starts contemplating and taking revenge, because all these consequences of envy and hate on Lord Indra. And what DT start doing now is, after once have some kind of desire, now they want to put some in action. So what DT did is, now she started pleasing her husband, right, Kashyapa, because she knew Kashyapa is so powerful. so powerful. And she was every single day, serving him very nicely, completely, and fulfilling all the orders of her husband, so much love, so much humility, so much like in everything. I'm here for my husband. That moves she was showing, and speaking so sweetly, smilingly, beautiful, attractive glances she was doing. And slowly she was controlling the mind of Kashyapa. And Kashyapa was actually connecting with, can see, oh, my wife is like really really appreciating, she's really helping, keeping an eye, you want to be the highlight of the family. So that's what she was doing. So when this was happening, so Kashyapa Muni, as very he's very learned, he's very learned scholar, we know that, he's very powerful yogi, but he was so captivated by Diti's artificial behavior actually. you know Somebody, sometimes we don't even know, somebody artificial try to behave you so nicely. And then sometimes it is said that somebody wants to destroy you. Sometimes they act so wonderful, so beautifully, so that they can easily kill you from behind. That backstabbing people can do. And that's one thing she didn't realize, and she assures Deeply that whatever desire you have, I will be fulfilling you. So, promise you. And it's very natural for husband. If the wife is very pleasing, she's very nice. So generally, it's a tendency for everyone actually. It's very pleasing to somebody. It's a very nice tendency that they will say, they will are willing to give everything for that person. Same thing that has happened over here to Kashyap Muni. And and in this section, actually, Sukadeva Goswami described actually Lord Brahma, when he created all these children, every one becoming brahmacharis. They were becoming devotees. They were not interested in the material world. So that's why actually he created women, you know, and Daksha, as all the daughters, married to Kashyap Muni. So to propagate the living entities. So because, and one of the powerful element for that is woman. So that's why actually Brahma created woman for that, to increase the population. And then Kashyap Muni actually, by pleased by deities, mild behavior, very wonderful behavior. And you know see, he start asking, what is your desire, you know what do you want, right? And with very beautiful smile, very beautiful, nice words, he's talking. She's talking to her husband like that. And actually, during that time, Kashyapa Muni actually describes, the qualities of a woman. How woman, Lord has actually created that. For a woman, husband actually is a supreme devika for him, the Pati Parmeshwar. They actually have to do that, he says. And then the affection for the husband, the love, the respect for the husband has to be like that. And the wife has to be chaste, and in the particular section actually described about the significance of husband and wife relationship in the Vedic culture very deeply, and duty of a conscious wife, or chaste wife, and what kind of reward that kind of wife can get, right? No matter what kind of husband it is, but if somebody becomes very chaste to from a husband, there's so many benedictions that is there automatically, that is contributed for the wife. So then Kashyapuni actually speaks about this duty, and what is a husband, what is the position of the husband. So he describes in this section. And and after that, he promised that, what is your desire, Diti, that you're really aspiring for. Then Diti now requesting, you know that my dear husband, I want an immortal son who can kill Indra. Boom, now, sometimes you don't realize, what kind of plan is there, or what kind of desire anybody can ask. Same thing happened to the Dasharatha Maharaj, you know because when he was so, when he blessed, that I promise you, I'm gonna give you something to Kai. And a time came, you know the the blessings he was asking, those promise to be fulfilled, was something he has never ever thought about, and it was very painful in one side, and that's what actually Diti did. He said, like, and then actually Kashyap Muni realized, oh my God, what I did. I went through all this attachment. Now this is what happened. He's granting such a dangerous request, not realizing, like, sometimes this can happen, right? And Kashyap Muni, like, self reflect that, this material enjoyment, right, material attachment in this world, like, is very, very dangerous. And actually, he gives some qualities actually, of a woman, like in how sharp the woman can be. The woman's heart actually considered very, very soft. Even Prabhupada says, actually, even in devotion, for more than a man, they can be very naturally very connected because they're very soft-hearted. But when they are very hard-hearted and cunning, the complexity of dealing a woman is very difficult. It is said that, like, they are ready to, like, kill anyone, to save somebody, or to save someone and kill somebody. They can do so many plans and everything. And that's what Kashyap is saying. Like, this is like, the woman's heart is so sharp, right? And but what to do? Because Kashyap said, he acknowledges that, like, I promised to you, my wife, but as we know that, as it is said that, devotees are always chatur, like very, very sharp minded, very, very clever, right? And and actually he start telling Diti that whatever he's saying, it's not justified. you know Lord Indra doesn't deserve to die. He doesn't deserve to die, right? But he need to find some particular solution in this dilemma. And then that's why what he said that, and also, like, this is one of the things, Kashyap Muni does, that, like, he definitely becomes angry with himself and condemn himself, like, how he can be trapped in this. And then he said that you follow this Vaishnava principle for 1 year, the austerity. And he promised that, like, if you follow this 1 year, this rule, because we're gonna talk about what's he supposed the so they see, he started saying that, like, you have to follow this Vaishnava principle for 1 year, and he promised that you will get a son. But if you even break any vow you to follow, then rather than a son who is going to kill Indra, you will get a son who will be killed by Indra. So I think my voice is a little low. They were saying, but I'm trying to be close. The mic is not great. So he shows that, and then uh, he shows what are the rules that you have to follow to get this auspicious son. So that ceremony is called Vamshavana ceremony. So what are the rules he starts giving is very meticulous instructions, like, what are the auspicious, um, to get that auspicious son, like, so avoid the negative actions. So what are negative action to be avoided? Do not be voiding, or do not cause harm to anyone. Avoid cursing and speaking lies. Refrain from cutting nails and hair. Avoid touching impure things like skulls and bones. And behavioral guidance he starts giving. Avoid anger. Never, um, uh, avoid anger while taking bathing. Refrain from speaking or associating with wicked people. Never wear clothes that has not been properly washed. Avoid putting on a garland that has already been worn. And dietary restrictions. Never eat leftover food. Avoid eating prasad offered to the goddess Kali. So one should not eat offered to the Kali during that press, during this austerity, and refrain from eating anything contaminated by flesh or fish. Do not consume anything brought or taught by Sudras, or even seen by a woman in her menstrual period. Do not drink water by joining your palms. And post meal rituals, like before taking even a meal, what he has to do after eating, washing after eating. So after eating, wash your mouth, hands, and feet. Do not go out to the street without proper cleanliness. Avoid going out in the evening or with loose hair. You should not open it here and go out. Ensure you are properly decorated with ornaments before leaving the house. Leave the house only when very grave and sufficiently covered. Right? You properly cover yourself. And sleeping guidelines. Do not lie down without washing both of your feet or without being purified. And avoid lying down with wet feet, with your head pointed to west or north, or during sunrise or sunset. Do not lie naked or in front of others. And morning rituals she has to do is put on wash clothing, always be pure and adorned with auspicious items like turmeric and sandalwood pulp. Before breakfast, worship cows, brahmanas, the goddess of fortune, and the supreme personality of Godhead. And that's why the ceremony is called Umshavana ceremony, and with faith for at least 1 year. You know, if you do this, they say that it will result a son that destined to kill Lord Indra. She said. Then any discrepancy in this vow may lead to a son becoming a friend to Indra. So now what happens now, Diti, very happy, generally when we get our desired thing, like to the step, right? She very, very gets happy, joyfully, and agreed that I'm going to follow this Shavana vow austerity. And she started following, right? And she became pregnant with Kashyap Muni. And then now when he heard that, somebody is getting born again, the new demons are going to appear. You know how Indra always get anxious. Just now we just finished with Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Now Diti is again planning, some other personality. And on the top of that, is not just going to become a demon, but what is powerful enough to kill me. Like that is being meant to kill me. Just like Dronacharya, right? Was Ashwatthama was meant to kill Dronacharya, right? So in the same way, here Diti is planning a son who can kill Indra, and Indra cannot sit quiet. So he sees that, now Indra starts planning. What can I do? What can I do? So actually, he took a form and actually was involved serving Diti personally as a Brahmana there. So and he was engaged in the service. He was so planning, he's there serving Diti, and daily, bringing offering, bring offering from the forest, so friendly, nicely serving, and Diti could not detect, but inside Indra was planning, when is that day gonna come? I'm gonna break a vow, you know and she's planning. So it was so anxious because there was never a time he was not able to find any fault, because he was so dedicatedly doing this vow. Because sometimes when we have this desire, a deep desire to do something, we really sincerely carry out things, and that's what was happening with Diti. Right? She was so everything was perfectly. She was meticulously doing, but one day, you know, once she was neglecting cleanliness, right? When went to sleep during evening in twilight. So finding this fault, immediately Indra, with his mystic power, entered to Diti's womb while she fell asleep. And what he did is Indra entered the womb and started cutting with his vajra. He cut the embryo into 7 pieces. It was glowing gold pieces because of this austerity. The womb was so powerful, actually cut into 7 pieces, right? And now these pieces actually start praying, hey Indra Dev, what is this? Why are you doing that? And again he started cutting all of each of the seven into again 7 pieces. And there are 49 pieces. And he says, like, why are you our brother? Why are you doing that to us? Why you want to kill us? But and they start sincere prayers to Lord Indra, like, why harm we can do to you. So realizing that Indra, that actually they are devotees, they are not demonic, right? And then Lord Indra says, oh, if you are not inimical to me, then nothing's going to happen to you, right? And he lives out of the womb, and you all are my brothers, and you don't have to fear from anything. So when Diti wakes up, you see all this 49 kids outside blowing, right? And now, actually, Parikshama says, like, just like, Aswathama, why it happened? Because just like Aswathama trying to kill you, actually, Parikshit, in the womb, right? And Lord Krishna entered the womb and protect you. And because of the austerity that was being performed by Diti, it was protecting the womb. No matter what, like Indra was trying to destroy this embryo, right? It was not getting killed. Rather, it was expanding with different babies, and these 49 Marutas were born out of that, right? By the mercy, that the power of the austerity, the devotional service that Diti was performing, right? And when he saw all this, the sun like radiating like anything, 49 suns, and all were sitting with Lord Indra, then Diti was wondering what happened. Now she's like, oh, like how come they became a friend with him? She was not expecting that. They were so favorable for Lord Indra, right? And then he asked Indra, what happened? So I think the power point closed by itself. But you can see my slide.
Yes, Prabhuji, you can say.
So then, what happened actually? Diti was so concerned, like, something I planned for, and over here it's coming completely different. Then he asked Lord Indra, what did you do? You always do something. What happened? All my plans get failed, Then Indra apologized and excused that he acknowledged what he has done. I was so stupid and foolish, like, and he seek forgiveness and explained what actually he did. And what he did, he tried to kill the baby in the womb, cut them into pieces, and these are all the baby, like, all the 49 pieces out of I cut, and they actually turn out to be the devotee. And why it happened, I realized it's all because of your devotion service. And he says that deity, actually now I realize this power of this devotional service is really, really great. And I tried to kill with my Vajra, and it was not getting destroyed. And they were getting protected. These babies were getting protected by Lord Himself, right? And when Diti heard that, actually she also became very happy that, and very satisfied. And as Indra, the nephew for, like, let all this, but the Marutas, the brothers, actually they went with Indra Dev. So that's a main story over here. That how this happened. This Marutas, supposed to be a demon, trying to kill Lord Indra, just became very favorable to Lord Indra. So what lesson learned? Our timing is very less, but just wanted to rush to the lesson learned because that's a very, very important part in this section. That how blindness of anger, envy, and burden of hate. The power of this is so great, actually, so great. It can turn, like, it can destroy everything. We have seen the history, like, what it has done. So much negative energy has done so much bad in this world. And over here, DT, you can see that, there's so much hatred he start developing on Lord Indra because of this, because the attachment was definitely there for his sons being killed by the Lord. And and that and she was thinking, like, this Indra is the cause of this. And she was like, seeing only bad thing about Indra. This Indra is like, this is what happens when we hate with someone. We don't see any good about that person, right? And that's what actually she was in the beginning, was she was saying that, like, this Indra, all these kings and everything, they are all the kind of bhogies. and they are going to become like a worm in the stool, like turn into ashes, right? And that's what it is all about. And just like Lord Indra himself also, many times because of envy, when he was not getting worship from Vrajavasis, what he tried to do? Tried to destroy the entire Vraj. Just imagine. Over here also, what he tried to do? He was ready to kill a baby in the womb. Just imagine. And that's what it does, right? And this burden of hate is so powerful, actually, right? It's very, very powerful, burden of hate, you know. And generally, like, the picture duplicates that the anger we carry is actually a burden. You know, the rock may not be like break our back, right? But actually, when we carry this burden of anger within us, actually, rather than it's more than a bag, it will burn our heart over and over. Like, when someone hurt us badly, we often let ourselves become filled with that resentment and anger toward them, you know. And anger, when we build it up, it turns into hate. We hate that person like anything. And with that hate burdens in our heart, like, it's inside, you cannot do anything, right? And it crushes our higher conscious aspiration, higher conscious. It destroys it. Actually, the mentality of hate actually never bring positive thing, right? And it reduce like nothing is good until unless this person is being killed. Nothing is great in this world. That's what happened with Diti, right? It becomes colorless, joyless. It's like a desert. Nothing matters except taking revenge, right, against our offender. This person has caused me so much suffering. I need to take revenge on this. That's what it is, right? And the second lesson we can go that is the desire and resolution. Actually, like desire actually is so powerful. Everything manifests from desire. That's the root cause of everything. Right? The desire. And here the power of desire that Diti had to kill Indra, right? And the desire that Indra had to kill the baby in the womb, the root cause. Like, Indra actually did so many things in his life because of the wrong desire. And desires are very, very powerful. And we have that resolution, what we want to do to get that desire, and we put into action, right? So here, um, Indra also cheated, acting as a kind of friend for Diti, trying to serve her very nicely. Diti also has back desire, try to serve her husband to get that benedictions, right? But generally, when we have this kind of cheating mentality, right, and desire and try to serve, actually cheaters become cheated. So that's what happened over there, right? But somehow, because they were connected with devotees, right? So that's why it is very important also, like, want to go on the third point, like, detecting our internal enemy. So we sometimes don't realize that this enemy is within us. Diti was not realizing that Indra, his enemy, her enemy, kind of enemy, staying with her, actually, and trying to say that, oh, like, trying to serve you so nicely, and you think, wow, this person is so nice. In the same way, in our heart, we have so much this desire, kama, krodha, lobh, moh, mad, matsarya. We might think that this is really wonderful thing, right? These are satisfying our desire. Kama dinam katina katina palita dudnidesa, right? So many lifetime we have this, like, try to fool this desire in our heart and never got satisfied, never got satisfied. Same thing here, right? So they plan, right? They have this desire, and like what happens, you know we not able to detect, right? So Kashyap Muni also was not able to detect something is wrong happening, right? That intent, that internal enemy is not able to detect. So that is very, very important to detect in our life also. And also, from Kashyap Muni also we can learn that don't promise, when you're so happy, and don't reply when you're angry, and then there's a statement actually, and don't decide when you're sad. This principle is very, very important. Same thing happened to Dasharatha Maharaj. When he was so happy, he promised, you know, something, and that's a had to cause, like, Lord Ram to go to the forest and created so much pain actually in the entire family and in the entire population, right? So that's the power of, doing a promising when you're too happy. Very, very, very careful also. And we should not reply, we should not act when we are really angry. We have to cool down. We have to cool down, we have to understand. what might have happened, right? So they understanding the real thing inside is very, very important. And the power of devotion service in association of devotees. And we have seen again and again, actually, in entire Srimad Bhagavatam is all about it. What is the power of devotional service? What can a devotees association do? It's so powerful, actually, right? And devotees are very smart. I was saying, because they can transform the evil desire, the wrong desire a person can have into a good desire. And that's what happened. We have seen so many examples in that. And one of them example is this Diti, right? Diti now, Kashyap Muni realized now what to do. But how can I transform her wrong desire, the, the desire into a right fruit out of this? It's completely wrong desire. But as Kashyap Muni was a devotee, he could understand, the real concern, the main issues with this. So that's why actually he knowingly making her a purification process. Actually, that's what devotee does. He always purify us. They're always ready to purify us. And the power of Neha Vikramana Susti Pratyavayana Viditi. So Alpam Atpasya Dharmasya Trayati Mahatubhya. He unknowingly, actually, Diti was not, she was focused on the children. I'm gonna have a child that's gonna be killed. But by performing bhaktis, he was not realizing she was getting purified. The babies were getting protected. Even Lord Indra was like surprised. What happened here? You know? So that's a power, right, of bhakti, right? Guru Maharaj, you can see, he had a desire. I want to be greater than my grandfather. I want to have better place. But when connected with Narad Muni, what happened? The transformation of when we saw Lord Vishnu, his heart, oh Lord was asking, ask the blessing. What do you want? Nothing. You see that? Because that's what devotee does. They transform our wrong desire to right, actually. Right? Even Nalakuber Manigriva also situation, you know, even the curses actually becomes blessings. Right? That's a power of devotees. That's why the power of devotional service and association of devotees, we should never think very simple. If we really dedicated to the process, things are going to go so wonderful, right? And if we knowingly do it, just imagine the outcome, what great it can be, right? And we can see the fear and attachment, how this Indra, you know, both of them actually, in Diti and Indra, we can see that they were Indra was fearful that this the baby in the womb can kill me, and Diti's attachment to his sons has actually generated ignorance, right? That ignorance made them what it made them, because they were relatives. They're his sister's son, and Indra is like her son, Diti's son actually, right? But she was ready to kill Indra. That's what attachment does. We become blind. We don't know this is my person. He is my. He's always thinking about me. There's nothing much wrong, but we're so much focused on small insignificant wrong. Sometimes we got some kind of chastisement. Something happened in our life. We only focus on negative. Oh my God, this person had over there negative, this negative, that. We're just focusing on that, and we tend to forget every single thing that this person has done so much to me in our life. So much. Even in devotees, we are like that. So many devotees are there. Every devotee, I think, how many of devotees really hate us? I don't think so much, right? But sometimes because of some kind of relationship, we tend to this person is, never happy with me, always like that. We tend to find so much fault like that, right? And try to even hate that those devotees and everything. So that is very, very dangerous, right? Sometimes this fear and attachment actually the mode of ignorance, right? And that ignorance has take Lord Indra even ready to kill the baby in the womb. Just like Ashokthama, he was ready to kill. So much hatred with the Pandavas he was generating. And with Brahmastra, he was ready, being a Brahmana. That's why he's the only one person, Lord Krishna actually cursed Ashokthama to suffer so badly, right? Because as a Brahman, what kind of Brahmana you are? You intently trying to kill a baby, not even born. What he has done, right? What wrong he has done? So we become so much deeply infected by this desire of attachment, desire of hatred, and as we try to destroy everything without realizing how bad it is, right? So, so it is very, very dangerous. King Martin Luther King actually Jr. says that I've decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Actually, hate is very, very difficult. Rather than when we hate someone, rather than destroy, affecting the other person, actually we get so much affected. As I was telling, our heart actually get burned every single moment. So that we should avoid. Try to love. That's what all the Vaishnava about the compassion we want to grow, right? Everybody has some imperfection except the Lord. The Mahabharata actually try to show that except the Lord, there you might find some imperfection in every living entities, right? But we should not see that. You know, they are cultivating. They are trying to be pure. That's a process of a devotional service. That's why everybody is trying to perform devotional service is to find to purify themselves because we are not perfect, right? We're human. We can make so many mistakes and error, right? And this want to conclude with this from one of the bhajan by Narottam Das Thakur. How can we transform this wrong qualities that we have? um, Krishna seva kamarpane groda bhakta dvesi jane lobha sadhu sange hari katha moha ishta labha vine mad krishna guna gane niyukto niyukta koribo yatha tatha. So he says that Krishna Seva Kamarpani. We have desires, we have Kama, right? What he say, Narottam Thakur says that I offer all this desire, this Kama to in the service of the Lord. Offer it. Grow the Bhakti Dveshi Gane, right? So whenever we have angry, get angry with the people who are inimical towards devotee. Engage in anger in that way. It says, Loba sadhu sange hari katha. And be greedy. Be loba. Loba is not bad. He said, if you have that quality of loba, have that greediness. To have more association of devotees, hearing more katha, right? More and more, never enough. Never be satisfied in association of devotees, hearing katha. Always that eagerness. That's what actually Parikshit Maharaj is showing. Sukhdev Goswami was so eager all the time. Are you all right? Everything's okay. But that eagerness you could see in each and every questions. That's why multiple times you can see that Sukhdev Goswami actually is praising Parikshit Maharaj for this quality, right? That his eagerness is there. And that's a quality we have to have. We have to be greedy, right? In this association of and hearing Harikatha. Moha Ishtalabha Bine. Mother Krishna Guna Gane Niyukta Kuribe Yathatata. Give up all the attachment, all the material desire, gain, la, puja, pratishtha, everything give and get intoxicated. He says, get intoxicated in the chanting of Lord's holy name. Right? Otherwise, because this Swatantra, actually the different verses, when the Swatantra Kama, the desire of becoming free, it's always creates really danger. So with that, we can learn this beautiful lesson from this particular katha. And thank you again, everyone, for joining. So if anything wrong, mistake I've done, please kindly forgive me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ram Tulsi Prabhu. There was one mistake. The session was too small, too short. We wanted a longer session. Such a intriguing pastime this one is. Each time I hear it, for me, there's a lot of learnings to be had. But thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing the wonderful pastime and all the learnings. For me personally, I think you mentioned about devotee association. I think nothing more can be said about it, the power of devotee association. I have personally felt it. So let's say once you experience something, then you have more realization. I mean, it's imbibed in you. So I feel the devotee association is really important and powerful, especially of Vaishnavas who are, sincere and enthusiastic and, things we mentioned earlier. I want to open up the floor and see if anyone has any questions, comments, reflections. You can just come off mute or raise your hand, either or. Yep, I see Ashish Prabhu, you want to go first?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, wonderful session. I'm multitasking, but I was trying to listen as much I could. So sorry for my ignorance if I ask any invalid question here. So when the guidelines were given to Diti, one of the guidelines said that you should not eat from, from the hands of Sudra. And what does it mean in that context? I thought in our tradition, all these varnas were decided based on what people do, right? At that time, at that point of time, what does it mean? And why it was called like such a lowly task?
Thank you, Prabhu. Again, it's not considered in terms of that they are very low, because over here is more about purity. The more focus is on purity. If you see all the guidelines, there's so much focus on like external purity and internal purity, the worship of deities. And Sudras generally considered always like doing like menial service. They're not always sometimes clean. They're not, maybe not taken bath and something like that. Even the worship, you see the Brahminical devotees, when they will worship, actually, like for example, if the woman is in the menstrual period, especially the Brahmanas, like you should not touch them. It considered as contaminated, so they have to again change the Brahminical faith, take bath. If somebody is going like somebody is not clean, I'm taking water, holy water for taking bath for the Lord. If somebody like if the dog touched the person, it has to be clean again, taken so it's more meant to purity than making a Shudra very lower, because Shudra generally, many Shudras, they didn't take bath, they didn't perform proper ritualistic purificatory process that is required. She has to maintain that purity. So that's in that particular section, in that particular idea, it is mentioned.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the question, and thank you, Ram Tulsi Prabhu, for answering it. Mataji, you can please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my respectful obeisances to Lord's feet and my pranams to all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here. Prabhu, wonderful class. This pastime has a lot of intricacies, I think, which you dealt with very nicely. So it was a very clear understanding of what exactly was happening in there. So thank you so much. Prabhu, I have a question here, is that we know that Kashyap Muni gave a bunch of instructions to Diti. They were mostly for purification and austerity. Devotional service, what devotional service was she asked to perform to get good children, opposite to her thing? Because I took all the instructions as instructions of austerity. I didn't see any devotional service. So please help me, Prabhu, in this matter.
There's one most important instruction was there, that even before even the breakfast, she has to worship the cows, the Brahmanas, Mother Lakshmi, the good goddess of fortune, and the Supreme Personality of Goddess. She has to do every single day, right? So that is one of the things he has to continue doing. So maybe you missed that part, or maybe I forgot to emphasize in terms of rushing. So it was there.
Oh, sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Maybe I missed that part. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cows, Mother Lakshmi, and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, so nothing beats that. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Ram Tulsi Prabhu. Anyone else? Ashish Prabhu, do you have another question?
Yeah, sorry. One
Yes,
more
Prabhu.
question, Prabhuji. So I know there had been a lot of male scholars or Rishi Munis who wrote these epics and stories to pass down. Had there been any female scholar? Like I know male scholars writing, woman has been like this, very complex in this nature, that nature. They gave their perspective of male as well, right? But in the past, had there been any female scholar providing their perspective, what they think about male and female?
So actually, it's not about your and ours or male or female perspective. The Vedas, the Shruti actually comes from the Lord, right, and the Creator itself. So it's not about like again we might have a judgment of understanding through the material eyes, but it is not like that. So when even the word was created, like the Vedic literatures, that's why Shruti Smritin Puranadi Pancharatra Vidin Bina Ekante Hare Bhakti Utpadaya Vatapati. Even that's why the following of the scripture is so important. It's not about who writing it, right? Because these are from Shruti, the way Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Lord Himself. Most of the scriptures actually is written by him, right? Maybe I mean after Vyasadeva, many have written so many. I mean, maybe there are so many scriptures after that, but according to various scriptures, they are not much called scriptures. For us, the Vedas, Shrutis, Puranas, the Itihasas like Ramayana, Mahabharata, they are considered most of our scriptures. So I don't think there is anything to do with much with like the male and female here. So because Lord Vyasadeva actually was incarnated for that particular purpose for writing all the scriptures.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the question and the answer. Any other final question? Just in the interest of time, because we have a couple of announcements as well. We don't want to keep everyone here for the rest of the day. If not, we just have a couple of quick announcements. So we want to first start by thanking Ram Tulsi Prabhu once again for the wonderful session. And again, the only mistake was it was very short. So hopefully we can have a longer session like next time, a continued version or something else. So thank you, Prabhuji, again. We also want to thank His Grace Ramchandra Prabhu, the president of ISKCON of Bergen, for kindly allowing us to have these Kartik